Alrighty, hey traders, today we're going to be looking at the stock market because I've just been doing some analysis right now. It is, for me anyway, it is 5 o'clock in the morning. I got up at like 3:30 a.m. this morning to get up to do some analysis about these markets because I am just so jumping out of my skin with the opportunities for long-term investing and also the opportunities for some short-term cash flow trades as well too. So anyway, so I've got a lot of things I want to share with you when it comes to where we are right now when it comes to technical analysis, but also going to share with you the psychology of the big booms and bust cycles of the markets and where I believe we are in the big cycle, in the big sort of cycle phase, and what I believe is likely to come. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, let's get straight into it. If you haven't done so, make sure you grab that free trading course. I used to charge for this free, I used to charge for this trading course, but I'm just giving it away for free just to help you guys out. So it just go get that free trading course. And if you do have friends and family that also want to learn about the stock market and trading and so on and so forth, then tell them to go get that free trading course as well too. They're going to absolutely love it. Now, I really want to share with you some things here because we're in a really interesting time right now when it comes to the stock market. And I've just been doing some analysis. I'm like, okay, right, now I can turn the recorder on and now I can share what I'm seeing in these markets. Let me start off with the Dow Jones first. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you on an intraday, on a sort of short-term sort of technical analysis basis is this. The very short term is if we have a look at what's happening right now in the markets, is that we are continuing to make these significant lows, move up, come back down, higher low, move up, come back down. This could be another higher low. So we're in a very important situation. We're at a very important point here right now. We're still making higher lows in the markets. So that's the very first thing. Okay, on a short-term basis, if we never want to fight the market, I hear there's through the last couple of months, I've been seeing people shorting this market, hoping and praying they're going to pick a top. Remember, guys, in a bull market, you may trying to pick a top, you're going to be right maybe one out of 10 times. Maybe you might be right one out of you might be right maybe 5% of the time. Let's just say you're right 10% of the time, and 90% of the time the market continues up in a bull market. Then why try and pick a top in the market? It's like, why don't you just, okay, well, if that's the case, if 90% of the time the markets are going to, as the market continues stair-stepping higher, then why don't I just go with the market? Why am I trying to fight the market? Why don't I try to put the odds on my side? Why am I trying to put a position here that has like maybe a 10% chance or maybe a 20% chance of succeeding? Why don't I just flip it and go with the market? So, and that's instantly going to give you a much more high probability. So trade with the market. Okay, guys, remember, us individuals, we're not the big boys. Okay, the big boys that are pushing this market around, they're much smarter than us. So listen to what the big boys are doing. Okay, and the charts are telling us right now that nothing has changed. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. But this is where it starts to get really interesting. Okay. Yes, we are very high in this sort of market cycle here, but I want to share something with you on a blank chart because this is really interesting that I've just noticed and I've just identified. Firstly, you'll notice how there's a bit of a support level where we are through here along this level, and I'd have to say roughly around about, you can see here, or for you guys that know about the slingshot pattern, for you guys who've been watching me for quite some time, look at this here. What is this here? Break below support, run back up. Look at that beautiful slingshot pattern, right? Again, I'm not going to go into the slingshot pattern in this video here, but I've covered it in the last 2 or 3 or 4 market update videos. So if you're watching this video today, as I'm doing this recording, then go watch yesterday's video and the video before that, because I really covered the slingshot pattern. And that's actually what's happening with the mining sector right now. Possibly, we need to wait for it to confirm. But there could be some amazing opportunities coming for the mining sector. But this is all about the good old stocky market. So firstly, look what's happening here. The first thing is that we're trading with the market. But look what's happening here. We have just broken out of this significant resistance here. All right, so we've got a significant resistance up through here, and I'd have to say the resistance is around that sort of, call it around that 35,000 level. You can see how we had this the overall support level was indeed around that. You know, it possibly could even be a bit higher than that. You know, maybe around, possibly, I'd have to say maybe around there somewhere, maybe 36, possibly. Again, I'm trying to find the most significant resistance in the past. There was a little bit of support up through there, as you can see. So maybe that was there. So if I'd have to look at this here, it's probably an area. See, notice how this market right now, whenever I'm trying to draw my trend lines, I'm trying to find the area of where this market's really at, right? Because it's not where I want the trend line. I'm just trying to find where the market is mostly finding the significant bounces. And if I had to draw a trend line, it's probably going to be an area more like through there than anything else. Okay, so let me just take that off the screen. That's more like the area of the support and resistance level, somewhere in about there. All right, so you can see this whole area through here is indeed that. But look what's happened just recently. This is very, very, very interesting where we are right now, guys. And we are getting ready for a significant correction. We're in that do or die situation. But what comes next is going to be really important to us. Let me share what I mean here. When the market goes sideways like this, okay, when the market just goes sideways where there's no one really in control of the markets, all right, nothing's really happening through here. So what I call this is when the market is going sideways, when the market is doing this, the market is doing nothing, and that's what the Dow Jones has been doing. It's been doing nothing ever since really April. Look, nothing. But look what's happening right now. This is really, really, really interesting stuff, guys. As the market is doing nothing, this is what I also call an energy phase. All right, this is actually what happened with gold as well too. Let me actually just quickly bring you back to gold weekly chart. I'm just using gold as an analogy, but you can see, look down through here. See how gold when gold went through its big crash through there, and then look what happened. We did what? Now this is a long term. This is a very, very, very long term, but the analogy works the same way. When the market just does nothing for quite some time, as you can see, it just goes sideways like that. It's building up a lot of what I call energy. It's building. This is what I call the market not doing. This is the market resting, and you'll generally see big moves out of markets after we see you can see here, right? Gold actually went for a move, and the low was around 1,000, but gold went from like 1,000 up to 2,000. That's like a very, very, very nice move. 100% growth in the markets from the low to the high there. As you can see, almost 100%. But as we started to break out, we made a very nice 50% move pretty quickly. But let me go back to the Dow Jones here for a minute. All right. So I just want to share with you what I'm seeing here right now on a very short-term basis, because we're at a very important point where we are right now, and we need to really keep an eye on this. So let's go back to the 6 month. I'm going to look at the 6 month view here now. Notice what I'm doing here as well too, guys. It's really, really, really important. Over the last 16 years, I used to use a lot of indicators. I can go to the indicator list and bring up the RSI, the CCI, the MACD, the DVX, the Holy Grail, the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So I can bring up that, but the most important thing to the chart is what? The chart itself. Right, because it's the market. The market can really, even if you've been watching me for quite some time, or even just the last week, if you've been watching my videos, you can see how the market starts to give us clues on, or the most important thing is the chart, right? Because the indicators are derived from the charts. So that's the reason why, guys, I don't use indicators. Every now and then I look at them, but even when I do look at them, I'm just like, why am I wasting my time with this stuff? What I'm talking about here right now is the most important thing. So, so let's actually get back into this. So we go through a phase of where the market's not doing anything, right? And then we start to do what we call a breakout. And we break out, but when we break out, we develop what we call a higher high, higher low. And then we're looking for, so let's actually do this here. So firstly, we have the channel. Then we're looking for a breakout. Okay, fantastic. We've got the breakout here. It's a very, very, very powerful pattern. First, we have the channel. So this is Chanel right here. All right. And then we have the breakout, higher high. Now, look what's happened. We had a move up, come back down. All right. So this here is a very important point here, because we have got a breakout, a higher high. Now, if this is going to be a higher low, and we do something like this, well, guess what? It is game on for the bulls. And we are likely to make, if we get this, okay, so very important for next week. If we start to get something like this and we get a little break above here after this point in time in the Dow Jones, it is just like, yes, Donkey Kong's coming to town. And every time I say that comment, I just think about that guy who said, John, you can take your Donkey Kong and shove it. All right. Right now it's 5:30 in the morning here on a Sunday morning. And this is why I do this stuff, guys, because I am prepared and I'm ready. And guess what? When you know what to look for, when you're reading the markets like this, spending time understanding stuff. Again, in that trading course, guys, in phase number 2, I go through important chart reading strategies like this, so you can start to read the charts like this as well too, right? So anyway, back to the charts. So we have the channel, we have a higher high, higher low. This is where no one's in control, right? Market's going sideways. This is the worst time to try to trade, by the way. Why? Because no one's in control, right? The market's going sideways. Don't think the market's going to go up or down. There's no probability here. But wait for the market to break out higher high, higher low, break past previous highs. Like this, guys, this works amazingly well. Like there's actually 2 trades that I just got out of recently myself. Firstly was Adobe. Let me share with you Adobe, right? Look at this here. Now, Adobe did the exact same thing. Let's look at this here. So I'll bring this up to, let me bring this to a weekly chart. Okay, I'm going to take everything off the screen here, and look what happened here. Alrighty, cool. There we go. All right, so look what Adobe did. And again, I actually traded Adobe. I made was about 160% return in about a couple of months here, right? But look what happened. Look what happened with Adobe. So firstly, you can see how that this wasn't exactly a channel. Actually, let's just go to the daily charts here, because I think the daily chart's gonna help us a lot more here. Right, cool. So we have, there we go. Yeah. So actually, let me just use this one here. So you can see, firstly, what do we have here? For you guys that remember what I said before about that slingshot pattern. What do you think this is here? Bit of a slingshot pattern, right? Again, if you don't know what the slingshot pattern is, it's when the market has a lot of support, it breaks below support, and then suddenly it reverses on you really, really quickly. But you can see through there. But then you also can see, look what we have through here. Notice how we have the channel. So we had a very, very, very nice, clear, defined channel. We had a bit of a slingshot pattern here. But look what happened here, okay? So we had a beautiful channel, and then look what happened. We had the breakout. So we had a breakout of a higher high. Then it came down, made a higher low, and then look what happened. As soon as we started, this actually was my entry point here, by the way. That was my entry point right there. Why? Because remember I said before, when the market's doing nothing for quite some time, there's no one in control. So the buyers are not pushing the prices up, and the sellers are not pushing the prices down. So there's no one in control here, right? Channel sideways, no one's in control. But when the market starts to when the market's going sideways like this, guess what? No one's in control. But what happens when we start to break out and we start to make a higher high, higher low, and then we break past previous highs? Buyers are starting to take control again, and then away we go, right? It's just simple chart reading strategies like this, guys. Just when the market's going sideways like this, don't trade. When the market starts to make a higher high, higher low, just like I did here with the breakout bar, I'm like, okay, well now the buyers, this pattern here, which does take time, it took many months for it to form, is now saying the buyers are in control. And look what actually happened with Adobe, right? Now I'm not saying all that stuff happens all the time. We don't always get big moves like that, but when we do get these patterns, we start to see generally pretty big moves. I also traded Microsoft based off this pattern as well too, right? So let me share with you Microsoft. Again, this is the exact same pattern I used. Look at Microsoft recently. I'm not in Microsoft anymore. I think I got like 100% or something like that out of Microsoft. So, but it was pretty cool. Anyway, so look what happened with Microsoft. Firstly, what did we have? We had a real big support down here. We had a resistance through here, right? So we had support through there, support, resistance. We had a bit of a channel. So no one's in control. And this is what I actually was. So no one's in control through here. Look what happened here. Higher high, higher low. And we broke past previous highs. It had a little run up. Then we came down, continued to make another high low. And then we went for a big move. So I actually got in here, right? And then I held on to it all the way. And then I got out through here somewhere. I still haven't, I'm obviously I'm not in it anymore, but it does look like, just looking at these spikes here, looks like, that we may be getting towards the end of this move here when it comes to Microsoft, because we've already made a big move. So we're probably going to get it ready for a pullback here, but I don't know. That's just my assumption, just looking at Microsoft. But the purpose of me saying that is not where Microsoft's doing right now. The purpose of me saying is looking at the markets here right now, that we're in a very, very, very important situation when it comes to the Dow Jones. Right, so when we're looking at the Dow Jones, let's go back to the good old DJ right now. Let's bring up the last 6 months worth of data, 6 months worth of data. Or even the last 3 months, 3 to 4 months, so we can really see what's going on right now. Look what's happening here. So this is very, 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 very important, guys, to see what's going on right now, because again, when the market's going sideways, the market's not doing anything. And one of the biggest things that you're probably doing right now is, even on a short-term trade, I have my long-term investing trades. I also have my long-term trading. I have my sort of long-term trades. Long-term for me is like a couple of months. But then I have my short-term cash flow generator trades where I'm in it for maybe just a couple of days. Phenomenal trading setups. But the thing is that the most important thing is what? Is the chart itself. So we're now developing this. So this is very, very, very important to us. If we break this level, if we do break this level through here, then on a minimum basis, I would have to say that now the projection for where Dow Jones is now likely to go to, right, up through there to there. Then the Dow Jones on a short-term target is up through there, right? Because this is just the channel, and that's just the projected target. So we break that level there, we're probably likely to race up to 36,000, and then I don't believe it's going to stop there. I believe we are then on our way up to, I think it's likely to break and then continue to go for an astronomical move to the upside. So if we get this pattern here, guys, man, it's game on for the bulls. So keep an eye on that for the Dow Jones. The S&P 500. The S&P 500 is in a little bit of a different situation. We're not in the sideways channel phase, like I was saying on the Dow Jones. We're just simply making these high lows, and that's really, 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 obviously nothing really much to say, but the market's still making these high lows, so we just need to watch and keep an eye out for that. But the big picture, the really interesting part about the Nasdaq is the weekly chart. Look at this here on the weekly chart on the Nasdaq. Something really interesting here. So the Nasdaq has had its big move up here, and it's actually really interesting to see where the Nasdaq is right now, because we've had this very big move. We had the crash, then we had the big move up, and now we've had this sideways phase through here, which is interesting because I'm going to bring up the psychology of the market cycles of where we're at and why this is important to see where we're at right now, where I believe we are at when it comes to the psychology of the markets and all that sort of stuff. Now, the first thing I want you to notice is that we're in this very nice, clear, defined upward channel. This is a weekly chart, remember? So every single one of these every single one of these bars is indeed a weekly bar, right? So we had a lot of support through here. So we stayed above here. But look what's happening here right now. So firstly, we can see how we were in a bit stuck in a very, very, very sort of tight triangle pattern. But look what's happened here. This is really important. This is either a false breakout and we're about to dump hard, or either this is just a bit of a resting phase before we start to see a move up. Now, it's something really, really interesting here, because look at this here. Firstly, notice what's happened here, right? So we did have this triangle pattern through here, but then we broke out. But look what's happened. We've just gone sideways here. So it's like, what is going on here? Because right, the market broke out. Now in a breakout, most of the time when we break out, we generally should expect to see the market to make a big move. But now the market has broke out. Now the market's doing that. Very, very, very interesting. So it's going to be an important point here to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Because if we start to see a breakdown like this out of the Nasdaq, guess what? We are now breaking. Now, I'm not saying we are, guys. I don't know. We need to wait for the confirmation, because whatever happens over the next few weeks of the directional move, either up or down, is going to give us a probability of what's going to happen probably for the rest of this year. So on the Nasdaq, this is the Nasdaq analysis now. You can see the breakout, and we can see that the market having resistance through here, and then the market's broken up, and now we're just going sideways. So if we do get a break back below here, back below 14,000, we are breaking back below this resistance level and back below this long-term support level. That is going to be very, very significant in the markets. And then if something's going to happen about, the market starting to tip over and so on and so forth, this is going to be the danger point right here. If we get that in the Nasdaq, then it's going to be pretty. We're probably likely to see a significant correction. I wouldn't say a crash like we did back here, like this here, but at least a significant correction out of the market. So that is the first bit there. But the second bit, which for me, guys, I am still long. I'm actually long the SPY and the QQQ. Just to be fair, I've been long, for many months now. So this upward move that we've been seeing, I've just been enjoying it myself. So looking at the Nasdaq, but the opposite is also true as well too. Let me squeeze up here a bit more. If indeed we do start to see something like this, let's actually this here. If indeed we do get something that looks like this, we hold here, and then we start to break out above this. We have this whole sort of resistance line through here. See that resistance line there? Sort of we're having a whole bunch of areas of short-term resistance here. If indeed we can start to get something that looks like this, all right, let's actually just make that real thick, right? If we indeed get something like that on a weekly basis, and we get something like that, then it's game on. Now, I believe we're going to get something like that. I've actually got my money where my mouth is when it comes to the Nasdaq, when it comes to the QQQ anyway, because I've got call options for the rest of this year. But I actually see the Nasdaq getting to the 17,000. So I think this is more probability of this happening than the downside, right? But we never want to preempt. So we always want to listen to the markets and wait for confirmation, right? So like with the Dow Jones, we need to wait for that confirmation, which is breaking above previous highs, and that's going to give us confirmation of that we now have a good chance of seeing a nice upside move. But if we get this on the Nasdaq, that's going to be very, very, very powerful. And then I believe once we get this, we are on our way up to around 17,000. Now, I've always had a 17,000 target. If you actually go watch my main YouTube video that's on my channel, then you'll be able to see I did a video a couple of months ago saying, I have a target. I've always had a target of 17,000 by the end of this year. So they are the very, very, very important points, guys, that I want to share with you that's happening there. Now, I also did, let me actually just, based on what we're seeing through here, and it'd be really interesting to get your oh man, right here, right? Look at this here. So we're in a bit of a, let's actually bring this up here. So this is the market cycles of everything, right? And I actually did this based on, I did a little bit of a post here, right? So, and this is based on, I did this post on obviously on YouTube, so you can go check it out and make a comment if you want, but leave a comment below. This is obviously the market cycle that things go through. And we can see that this is obviously what Bitcoin went through first and what Bitcoin's doing and so on and so forth. But this is what happens generally in pretty big market cycles, right? So the thing that you can see here is that we can see how the market gets dumped and then the market starts to recover and the market goes up like this and then the market starts to slowly go like this. And then we start to see this through here. So we can see it goes through, once we start to go through disbelief, like this is a sucker rally. and then we go through hope, and then optimism and belief and thrill and euphoria and all that sort of stuff. This is obviously what's happening here. So I truly believe, guys, I may be wrong in what I'm seeing here, but remember I said before, if I'm looking at this here as a bit of a gauge, a bit of a guide, plus also what I'm hearing, I'm still hearing in the marketplace, not how people are getting rich by trading stocks, like I did here when Bitcoin got to 60,000. What was all of the news that was coming out of Bitcoin? Right now, I'm sort of guiding on what I'm thinking about with market cycles, right? The big picture. So all I heard when Bitcoin got to about 60,000, guess all I heard. Everyone was piling into stocks, right? Everyone was piling into stocks. That's all I heard was stocks. Sorry, no. Crypto, right? Not stocks. Crypto. So all I heard was crypto. But what were the stories? Oh, this guy made $1 million here, and this guy made this much money trading here, and this guy's making a lot of money. And then I had a friend of mine trading, making a lot of money. Then I had a guy who's a network marketing guy, has nothing to do with crypto, and he says, well, you got to be in Bitcoin because it's only going to go up. And I'm just like, oh, no. And guess what? That's the top. Now, let me ask you a question. Are we getting those stories right now in the stock market? No. What do we all hear right now? All I'm hearing right now is probably a little bit of hope, but a lot of bit of disbelief. All I'm hearing is like, this is just a sucker rally. This thing's going to end. You know what I mean? That's all I'm hearing. Now, guys, this is obviously the big picture. The most important part to your trading and investing is what? The charts. As I went through there from the weekly charts and the daily charts, make your decisions there. But when we start to look at the big picture of where we're at and what's happening, all I'm hearing is disbelief. This is a sucker rally. This is the top. Maybe a little bit of a hope here. I'm not hearing a lot of optimism about this market. Because guess what? Oh, the Fed and we're getting towards the end and the debt and it's going to explode and blah, blah, blah. All this stuff, that's all I'm hearing right now across the markets. So I'm thinking, this is not topping. We're not seeing topping mentality in the market yet. We're not hearing those stories of people making so much money trading stocks, right? And so if I look at look at this here, but it's interesting, isn't it? If I have a look at this here. Now, guys, I may be wrong in this market cycle of things. Obviously, my main thing is the charts. So I have to just keep watching the charts. And when we start to break those key levels, then that's when it's going to tell us there. But when I look at this here, move up and then a slow grind. And then we had this small little sideways phase. And then we had that. The interesting point, look at this here, move up. If I go to the good old Nasdaq, let me actually squeeze the Nasdaq up just a little bit more. Remember I said before, remember the Nasdaq? Strong move up, slow grind up, and now we're actually at this point here. The question is if I bring this over here a bit more. Oh, there we go. Actually, let's spread that a bit more. There we go. The question is, if we do get this here, I believe that it's getting to probably maybe that point there. Optimism. Because I truly believe, guys, that, and this, I may be wrong with this situation, I may be wrong in my thinking here, but this is just what I believe when it comes to the big macro picture, okay? This is just my opinion, it's my thoughts. I believe that moving into next year, we're going to be learning to live with this thing called the cough, all right? And we're going to be learning to live with that. And so I think things are going to start to slowly get back to semi-normal. And I know you're probably thinking the opposite and all that sort of stuff. And we all know we're leading into something big, which is a new world order, a new currency, a reset, all that sort of stuff, right? That's probably going to be another 5 or 10 years away for that to really kick in. But from now through to then, I say play ball with the bulls, all right? But then on top of all of that, if we actually look at where we are right now, we're actually early in the market cycles. If you actually understand the market cycles of things, is that as the market gets too overheated, guess what happens? The market starts to go up and up and up and up and up and up too much. Then guess what? Then they start to slowly raise the interest rates to start to calm down. They haven't even raised interest rates once. Like, remember what happened back from when Trump was elected to when they had the drop interest rates? They raised it from like quarter base point, all the way up to 2%. Right? Quarter base point all the way up to 2%, or just I think it was 2.5% from memory. And then guess what? They had to drop it down to 0. They haven't even raised it. They haven't even raised a quarter base point once yet. Not even once yet. So when they do that, guess what? They're putting a brake on the markets, aren't they? Right? Because remember, interest rates go down is a floor underneath these markets. That's the reason why from 2008 to when we had the crash, guess what? It was that there. But also the QE of what the Fed is doing. And right now, they're still doing 120 QE per month plus trillions of dollars of stimulus back into the economy. So to me, guys, are at the... I hear a lot of people saying complacency. And this is what Harry Dent thought. I heard Harry Dent say this. When the market did crash back last year, and then we had a little rally, I didn't know whether the market was going to go where we were in this sort of complacency situation. I didn't know whether it was this situation we're in, but we definitely did get the crash. People anger and depression and all that sort of stuff. So looking at the markets right now from a big macro, firstly, analysis on the charts, the most important thing. So this is going to give us a key here, right? If we do get something like this, then it's on like Donkey Kong for the bulls, and get ready, right? Because this thing is going to be on like Donkey Kong. Get ready, because it's going to be fireworks, okay, guys? And now I don't want you to be, if you do take a position based on what I'm saying here, guys, just know that nothing is guaranteed in the markets. Because even if we did get that, we could get that, okay, guys? So please know at any situation, should you be putting massive risk on your account, have small risk. Have it like, so if that happens, if you want to get into a trade, down here is like a 2% risk on your account. I'm not telling you what to do, and then it's okay. But if it does get up to here or more, then I know that 2% risk on my account, and then I could probably make 5, maybe even 10% if it does do that. You know what I mean? Like that's what you want to do there. Protect your account, guys. Don't go all in on one position, because no matter how good something looks, the opposite can happen, okay? And so I'm looking at this market cycle where we're at right now, guys, and I truly believe, especially in the Nasdaq, we're here right now. Like, and what I just shared with you with the Dow Jones as well too is like, if we start to get on that Dow Jones, how we had this sort of sideways movement, and now we had this sort of channel, and now we're getting a higher high. If we get this higher low and it breaks past previous highs, it's probably going to make a big move in the markets, because that's what the market's telling us. And if I bring up an example here of what I'm talking about, I had an Ethereum trade that I did last year on Ethereum based off this exact same pattern. And now I'm going back to what I talked about here. So I know I'm chopping and changing, but that's what I see with the Nasdaq. If I go back to the Dow Jones again, and I go back to this pattern, no one in control, and then we start to break out like this. Remember I said before that that's the trade that I did on Microsoft earlier this year, same with Adobe, and they all went for big moves. I'm not saying that we're definitely going to big moves, but this is the exact same pattern that I did when I traded Ethereum at the end of last year. So let me share with you. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful setup. Let me minimize this. Let me bring up the Ethereum charts. And as I'm bringing up Ethereum charts here, guys, and you can see there's actually a bit of a double bottom here. But as I'm bringing up Ethereum here, I want you to understand, as you can see, right, all trading is pattern recognition. If most of your decision if most of your decision to get into something is based on indicators, it should be like, to me, it's like 0 indicators, 100% in the market. Because you can see what the market's talking to us. Even like here, right? Double bottom. Where's that? Once it breaks the double bottom, where's it likely to go to? The projection. Like there's all these patterns you can learn out there. But let me actually now go to the weekly charts, because this is exactly what happened. Let me actually remove all the moving averages, because we don't need that. The moving averages can help, but let me just share this with you here, all right? So actually take the volume off. Let me take the moving average off. And now I'm just going to bring up the good old weekly chart here. And I started noticing this here late last year, and I'm like, oh, what is going on here? All right, and I actually started noticing around, I think it was around September. Yeah, maybe early September. Remember, this is a weekly chart on Ethereum. So, remember I said before about gold as well too? Man, I'm dropping all kinds of good nuggets for you guys, right? Plopping all those nuggets out. Dropping all kinds of nuggets for you. Aren't ya? These golden nuggets. Plop, plop, plop. All right? So, let's have a look at this here. So, we had, guess what? Same for what? Adobe. Same for Microsoft. And look what's happening right now with, guess what? The good old DJ. So, we have a bit of a resistance level there. We had the good old Chanel. Right now, this is a long-term, remember I said before, when we have a long basing pattern like this, it's what's called an energy field, right? It's an energy, the market's building a lot of energy. This is a couple of years of energy. And then, guess what we have? Remember I said before with the Dow Jones as well too. All right, just want to make sure you guys remember. Remember the Dow Jones is doing this. We had the Chanel, then we had the breakout, a higher high. Now we're coming back down. This is the question mark is, we don't know if it is going to be, but the question mark, if it is going to be a higher low, just like here, we got the breakout higher high. The question mark here is this going to be a higher low, and are we going to break past these previous highs? If so, then we're probably going to see a pretty big move when it comes to the good old Ethereum. All right. So I was watching this. Market's going sideways. And then guess what? Market's going sideways. And then we had the break. Then, as you can see here, and I actually entered a bit earlier. So you can see here that, let me actually bring this up. Let's bring up a good old arrow. So I actually entered around it was actually around that 400 level, maybe just a bit higher than that. So somewhere around about here, I actually entered. Remember I said before base? And then look what Ethereum did. Just absolutely just took off like a rocket, right? And we know that. And this absolutely just took off like a rocket. And then yes, we had the pullback and so on and so forth. But look, based off this pattern here, and then we started to see what? And now you can see that, look at this here. Just trying to make this a bit easier for you guys to see. There we go, right? So I'll just do that there. So you can see here, sideways channel, the pattern, and then the big move up. And so guys, these are, and then once again, and even if you, and the thing I love about this pattern is, just say you're doing your analysis and you're looking for this pattern, and just say you only see this pattern maybe half a dozen times throughout the entire year on different stocks. And just say, for example, only 50 of them make massive moves and 50 of them don't, right? So you've got 6 trades in total. Three of them are going to be pretty duds, so you might lose 50% on your, if it was a long-term option trade. So you're going to lose maybe 50% on that. So and then the other 3 make massive moves, and you're up, a couple of $1,000%, 500%, 1,000% return. You get what I'm trying to say here. So, and you can see that that's what's happening there. And again, like, I didn't write it all the way up. I actually, for me personally, guys, when I saw this breakout, I'm like, okay, we have a real good probability of getting to this level here. And once we do that, then I'm gonna start to look. I think I got out at I had a scaling. I think I had a scaling stop through here. So like I had like a stop here, and I started putting the stops below the lows here. Stop up, stop up, stop up, stop up there, stop there. So when we're up here, I'm locking in my profit, because remember I got in down here, and so as the market started to move, I'm locking in my profit. The market came down, stopped me out, and then I didn't know I was going to do that, and I didn't know we're going to go to there, but I didn't capture all of it. But I saw that there, guys, was really massive profit for me, right? And it happened really, really, really quickly too. Like, if I look at the trade there, I was in there for, what is that, 16 bars, 16 weeks. What is 16 weeks? 15 bars, what's that? 4 weeks, probably couple of months, right? Maybe November, December, January, February. Yeah, so about 3 months I was in that trade. So there we go, guys. There's a whole bunch. Like, I could just, and this is, guys, this is my passion, right? And this is what I love to do, is I just tear apart these markets, because there is so much opportunity out there. The hard problem that most of you guys have, and with my trading course that I'm giving away for free, is what do I actually focus on? because there's 80% of the stuff out there when it comes to indicators and all this sort of stuff is just absolute garbage, and it's not really going to help you do really well. The number one thing to become a master at is the chart itself. What are the patterns the market's making? Those indicators, throw them out the window, right? Because as I'm just sharing with you, right, you can make really good money and really good trades, like I shared with you, Adobe and Microsoft, and and just all these other trades as well too, like Ethereum. I could trade after trade after trade. Yes, I have my losses. Okay, I have losing trades as well too with my trading system. But that's just part of trading, right? And so I hope you can see what I'm looking at here, guys. That we are in such an incredible time. And please, guys, just go get access to that free trading course. At least that's going to give you a good gauge on how to read these markets. And I even teach you when it comes to a trading system, like a short-term trading system. You're going to absolutely love that trading system in there. But just go get the help you need, guys, because this is such an incredible time. So, guys, leave a comment below, and if you've actually finished, if you're still watching this video right now, you're part of the 1% club, because I've gone now for over 40 minutes of just dropping all kinds of nuggets. So, put the words in the comment section below. DJ 40K. Because that's where I believe we're actually going. Where I believe we're going to 40K. So DJ 40K, and that firstly, that will actually show me that that you're the 1%er club, and that will also show me that that also confused the hell out of people, like DJ 40K. What's DJ 40K? What does that mean? It's going to confuse the hell out of most people as well too. So, guys, congratulations. I really want to help you guys out, and I really want to serve you. And I hope you can see from doing these market updates that I'm trying to drop all these kinds of nuggets for you to show you that. And as you can see, right, I'm deriving all this information from what? The chart itself. And the more we can become a master at this thing called the chart itself and remove all the bullshit, and then we can spend all that time getting good at, okay, what's this breakout mean? What's the false breakout look like? What's this doing here? What's a channel? What's the trend analysis? And we spend all the time educating ourselves on here, right? On this thing here. Most people are just like, oh, what's an option? And how does it work? And I want to learn everything that makes about an option. And I want to learn everything about this and this and this and this. And now, guys, if you're brand new to the markets, now I understand you're going to go through that phase because you want to check out all the indicators and all that sort of stuff, but it's not the big thing that's going to really help you out. Anyway, guys, remember, I said before, DJ 40K, that shows me that you're the 1%er in today's video, and also it's going to confuse the hell out of a lot of people. Speak to you soon, guys. Hey traders, I'm giving away 100% free access to my brand new breakthrough full trading course. This is 8 videos over 10 hours of pure amazing and powerful strategies. This is my most powerful systems and strategies that I've used for the last 16 years, and I'm giving it away for free. So this is what I want you to do right now. I want you to go to johnsfreegift.com, or there should be a link around here somewhere, a button or in the description or somewhere in there. Click on that and you can go get free access to my brand new breakthrough trading course. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now. Go to that right now, guys. You can get full, complete, free membership access. Go do that right now.